The morning sun was barely creeping over the rolling hills of Willow Creek, Tennessee, on a humid July day in 2024 when Emily Harper let out a scream that could have woken the dead. A 1,500-pound black Angus bull named Titan was charging straight at her shiny silver golf cart, its horns glinting low, hooves pounding the earth like a war drum, kicking up clouds of red dirt. Her wide-brimmed hat sailed into the air. Her sweet tea exploded across her lap, and her shrieks ricocheted through the manicured lawns of the Willow Grove Homeowners Association. This wasn't a freak farm mishap. Oh no, Emily had been warned time and again. Yet there she was parked smack in front of my barn doors, bold as brass, muttering about how shade was community property. What she didn't realize, what made this moment so gloriously inevitable, was that Titan wasn't just a bull. He was the reckoning I didn't know I needed. And today, justice came with horns and a bad attitude. It all started with Emily's obsession with cutting corners. My family's farm sat on the edge of Willow Creek, a quiet town where our land private, clearly marked, and passed down for generations bordered a ritzy new neighborhood. The Willow Grove HOA was the kind of outfit that'd fine you for a crooked mailbox. And ever since their cookie-cutter mansion sprang up a decade ago, certain residents treated our fields like their personal playground. Emily was the queen of this entitled crew. Her daily ritual? Zipping through my back pasture in her golf cart to shave a minute off her trip to the community pool. Never mind the private property signs, the locked gate, or the cattle grazing nearby. Emily had decided my land was her shortcut, and no fence or reason was going to stop her. At first, it was just irritating. She'd cruise through, waving like she owned the place, yelling, "Morning, rancher," as she scattered dust over our haystacks. I tried talking to her, explaining the land was private. I even put up a wooden gate with a polite sign, "Private property, please use main road." By sundown, Emily had snapped the latch and rolled right through, slapping up her own Cigna laminated monstrosity, claiming community access. HOA approved. It was nonsense, but that's the level of delusion I was dealing with. Then she started parking in front of the barn. Not occasionally every single morning, like it was her personal garage. She'd pull up, block the doors where we load feed, and disappear for hours. Sometimes she was off gossiping by the tennis courts. Other times, she'd sprawl on her cart's roof, sunglasses on, her yappy dog in her lap, sipping tea like she was at a resort. When we needed to move hay or get to the animals, she'd just smirk and say, "Oh, chill. I'm only here for a bit. This spot gets the best light." That's when I knew this wasn't cluelessness. This was entitlement slathered in bug spray. I called the HOA, laid out the problem, and got the classic brush off, "We'll look into it," which translates to, "We'll do nothing unless Emily cries first." Then she upped the ante. One Saturday, she threw what she called a barnside brunch, her and 3 friends, folding chairs, muffins, and a speaker blasting smooth jazz. They laughed and toasted mimosas while my workers stood there, holding grain buckets, waiting like they were at a country club. That night, I sat on my porch, steaming. Titan, our biggest bull, was grazing near the fence. He was a beast, muscular, ornery, and oddly regal. He'd been cooped up in the barn for days due to pasture rotation, and he was itching to move. Titan hated anything shiny near his space, especially reflective stuff. And Emily's golf cart? Chrome rims, silver paint, and a tacky hood ornament shaped like a hawk. To Titan, it must have looked like a rival bull taunting him. I started wondering what had happened if Emily parked there again. What if, instead of arguing or filing another useless complaint, I just opened the gate? I'm not a cruel man. I'd never hurt anyone on purpose. But I believe in natural consequences. And the natural consequence of parking in front of a bull's barn is meeting the bull. So I waited. 2 days passed quietly. Maybe Emily was busy, or the HOA had finally said something. But on the 3rd morning, I heard the familiar whine of her cart. I slipped into the barn and peeked through the slats. There she was, hat tilted, sunglasses gleaming, tea in hand, cart parked dead across both doors. She cranked her speaker and leaned back, humming like she was on a beach. I gave it 5 minutes just to be sure. Then I unlatched the gate. The click was soft, but the creak of the barn door was enough to get Titan's attention. He stood in his pen, black coat shining in the dawn light, ears twitching, nostrils flaring. He smelled freedom and something else. Rubber tires, sugary tea, cheap perfume, and arrogance. I crouched by the feed bins, watching. It was almost too calm outside, birds chirping, Emily scrolling her phone, giggling to herself. Her cart sat like a barricade, daring anyone to care about anything but her comfort. Then Titan moved. Slow at first, his hooves thumping the dirt. He paused at the barn's edge, his shadow stretching long. Emily didn't notice. Then he stepped into the sunlight, and his eyes locked on the cart. He froze, head tilting, muscles coiling. A deep, bone-rattling snort broke the silence. Emily glanced over, laughed, and waved. "Hey there, big guy," she cooed like she was talking to a puppy. "Lost, huh?" Titan didn't budge. His head lowered, a clear sign he was sizing up a threat. Emily tapped her phone, started recording. "Look at this cow, just strolling out. No fence, no leash. Typical farm nonsense. Wait till the HOA sees this." Then it happened. Titan bellowed a roar that shook the air and charged. Emily's scream could have cracked glass. She fumbled with her keys, but the cart's battery was dead. She kicked the dash, honked the horn, then bolted, tripping over her purse and sprinting to a nearby maple tree. Titan didn't gore the cart. He did better. He slammed his head into the front, snapping the bumper like a twig. Her teacup flew, splashing her chair. The speaker hit the ground, silenced. Titan stood tall, snorting, king of his domain. Emily peeked from behind the tree, pale as milk. "Call someone. That thing's a monster," she shrieked. I stepped out, hands in my pockets, fighting a grin. "You okay, Emily?" I asked, all casual. She pointed, shaking. "You let that beast out on purpose. It attacked me." I shrugged. Barn was blocked. Had to let Titan stretch his legs. "You seen the signs, private livestock land." She stormed toward me, one sandal missing. "I'm reporting you. My cart's ruined. You'll pay." I tilted my head. "Actually, Emily, you'll pay for trespassing, blocking my barn, messing with my work. I've got video of every time you parked here, including today." Her face went crimson. "You have cameras?" "Several," I said. "With audio. Safety thing. Titan's not the only one we watch." She grabbed her purse and stomped off, muttering threats. That afternoon, I backed up the footage in 3 places. I knew Emily wouldn't quit. By evening, 2 HOA soot-clipboard-wielding bureaucrats showed up, mumbling about a dangerous animal complaint. I walked them to the barn, showed them the video, and pointed out my land wasn't under their jurisdiction. They left, one muttering, "This won't look good for the board." But Emily wasn't done. 2 days later, a small claims court summons arrived. She was suing for her cart, emotional trauma, and get this, attempted manslaughter by bull. My lawyer, Sarah, nearly spat out her coffee. "This is a joke," she said, "but bring every tape." Court day was pure theater. Emily showed up in a neck brace and a black shawl, like she was auditioning for a soap opera. Her lawyer, a nervous kid fresh out of law school, looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. She wept, claiming Titan locked eyes with her, that I'd unleashed him to settle a grudge. When my turn came, I played the footage, Emily parking, lounging, ignoring signs, then fleeing. The judge watched, rewatched, and asked, "Why were you parked on private property in front of barn?" Emily mumbled about sunlight and a medical need for warmth. Case dismissed. The judge warned her further trespassing could mean charges. Word spread fast. Titan became a local legend. Someone made a meme, Titan beside the wreck cart, captioned, "You parked where?" I added a new gate with a coded lock. But Emily wasn't finished. A week later, a county inspector showed up, tipped off about illegal barn modifications. I walked him through everything was permitted, up to code. He chuckled at Titan. "This the troublemaker? Looks chill to me." As he left, he suggested trail cams for grudge callers. I spotted Emily's car idling nearby, watching. Enough was enough. I put up new signs, private property, livestock present, enter at own risk. "Smile, you're on camera." I added trail cams and a steel gate. Then I leaned into Titan's fame. My cousin designed a logo Titan and sunglasses. You parked where? Below. We sold shirts and mugs, donating proceeds to the local 4-H. Families came to snap pics with Titan from a safe viewing spot. Emily drove by, fuming. Then she tried again. One afternoon, a crash echoed. Her new, gaudier cart was stuck in a cattle grate I'd added. She fled, but the cams caught it all. I called the sheriff, had it towed far away, and let her claim it stolen until the footage surfaced. The HOA finally cracked. They held a meeting, leaked to me by a fed-up neighbor. Emily had misused their letterhead, fake signs, and tanked their reputation. They were reviewing her conduct. Peace settled over the farm. Titan lounged under the stars, king of his pasture. But I knew Emily was plotting. Then came her final move, a county motion to rezone my land as residential overflow. It was a bureaucratic trap: inspections, restrictions, fines. I fought back with records, surveys, and a lawyer, Anna, who called a desperate reach. At the hearing, Emily spun a tale of safety concerns and doctored Titan photos. Anna dismantled her lies. I showed the barn's history, Titan's calm side, and community support. The board dismissed her motion in 15 minutes, suggesting protections against such stunts. That weekend, I hosted Titan's Victory Day. Neighbors, kids, ranchers, a cake reading Justice with Hooves. We raised money for the animal shelter. Titan wore a ribbon, munching contentedly. Emily was quiet, but I knew she'd lurk. Next time, I'd be ready. Titan always was. What do you think? Was Emily just clueless, or was she out for control? Should I have handled Titan differently, or was letting nature take its course fair game? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more wild tales.